My name is Sam Naimi, and I am a graduate student at the University of Southern California, USC. I intern at USC's Counseling Center, which is also known as the Center for Mental Health. It seems that a lot of the undergrad professors are providing students more work than expected during the stay-at-home order. They feel their professors are not being very empathetic about workload, as people across our country are really being hit by this pandemic. It's been a challenge to adjust because it's just one Zoom meeting after another. Having one's eyes on a computer screen for hours throughout the day and not moving isn't the best for one's physical, but more importantly, mental health in this case right now. Most of my work with students as a clinical intern does revolve around anything under the categories of anxiety and depression. I've been trying to help students explore their anxious thoughts, which often lead to maladaptive behaviors that help them cope with psychological distress. Also, I'm helping them learn about new methods of self-care and recovery during a time like this. In the therapy industry, we call this psychoeducation. The relationship between the patient and the therapist is a majority of what helps the client succeed in therapy. For these students, having someone warm and empathic to listen to them, to listen to their fears more specifically, that's the real helper here. I've come to realize that it is hard to feel attuned to the client when there are technological issues at hand during sessions. Sometimes I can hear a client super well and there's 5 to 10 minutes of just fixing that, or they can't hear me well. Other times it's pretty clear that the patient doesn't think his, her, or their bedroom or whatever room they're in is particularly soundproof enough for a therapy session. So sometimes, unfortunately, there's a lot of whispering on the client's part, probably because they don't want their relatives, spouses, anyone overhearing their confidential sessions. And I, of course, completely understand that. You would never want anyone ever to overhear your therapy sessions. But these mitigating circumstances do particularly affect the speed, the content, the intensity of certain sessions. I also think that being physically present with a therapist in the room is really important for really recognizing and talking about the client and the therapist's body language, nonverbal modes of communication. They're really important parts of therapy that can be used to help treat people, to help them heal. And you lose a lot of that when you only see half a person on a screen in a sometimes unorganized, chaotic background, but it does come with its flaws. I would advise students to absolutely practice what we call self-care. So self-care gets rid of those types of thoughts and those processes. This can simply be a distraction, breathing exercises, yoga, reading, even taking a shower simply, or lighting a candle, cooking. Those are all forms of self-care. Anything that you can do to calm yourself down, practice it. And at the same time, I would suggest everyone practice self-compassion.